Do you remember when we first met? Well, I don't, but I remember how wet you get. But I won't disrespect you by dwelling on the physical aspect. Don't roll your eyes, cause we better than that shit. I'm talking about long life, being your boy's wife. A couple youngins running in the backyard. And my lord, you're still looking great, honey. And my God, you still can shake what make money. It's so vivid, can't you picture it? Yeah, well tell me, do you think this ring fits? Word, your love is like the ultimate herb. You got me foot to the ass and the rest to the curb. It's like nothing to do, only for you I kneel and forget the brick. Love is the house we're building, the picket fence with the swing on the tree with the words carved in it saying love is we.
There you are, close enough to touch but still too far, because you're not mine yet. Stimulated by the conversation, mere presence. Other women ask what relation, none of the essence. Oh, who's that? She's a C, but you come first, like the A before the B. When you're gone, I wilt like a willow. Lie there and smell the scent you left on my pillow. A strong mind with the body to match. I won't bite if you promise not to scratch. You keep it real, just like the truth. Closer than twins, standing in the phone booth. Inspirational, treasured like a gift. What's success without someone to share it with? I used to be a dog, now a cool cat chasing cheese. And I blame Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise.
People everywhere wants to know her name. Her body is the essence and her claim to fame. She's got game, it ain't the same. She's got plenty, packing more good times that you might call a penny. Getting caught up with the thoughts of flying overseas, making all of the cheese, spending time with Eloise. I picture hitting from the back like the snare from the track. I got the knack to be the Macalypse I wanna smack. Candle wax down the spine all of the time. Prophylactic on my tool, let me take you to school. Lesson 1, you don't have to run. And lesson 2, listen to my crew. Passion increases with exchange of saliva. Keep it Fahrenheit and call me Muff Diver. That be me, the K to the ING. My mode is excellent and my dream is Eloise.
A soft whisper. She asked me, do I have the guts to kiss her? But as I sit and wonder, is she real? I picture. So what comes after? Put on Anita's rapture. Her feelings I must capture. Her soft lips. I take them quick and put them in my pocket. Cause they're out of this world like Space Lee and his sprockets. Somebody pitch me quick, I think I'm dreaming. Damn, she got me fiending. Her skin is so soft. It reminds me of the smoothest piece of silk. She's so sweet, her breath smells like carnation milk.
So sweet. Carnation milk. Of all things, I'm your lady. Sweet baby.
Hey, what up, boo? Words out, I'm the diva that you speak about. I hear you smitten about my well-written repertoire. You's a superstar, but it's you that I shine for. We go together like jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers. Player haters try to come between us, but never that. E is simply all of that. Rewind that. E is simply all of that. Hoes be jealous, so they fellas wanna frolic. Gems I spit can't be bought, sold, or boarded. You look retarded, trying to go against the gift. Love is shared, the love is multiplied. Put your freaks aside, forget about your weak pride. Run away with me and let's do it on the wild side. Like that.
Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise, you're on my mind, girl. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise. Eloise, I wanna know, am I the bro, to get to know ya? Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise, I wanna know, am I the bro, to get to know ya? Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Simply E with the MSB, the magical soul.
We's on the line. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? You know, man, we in the building today. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Come on, man. I need to feel that energy. I'm gonna make my own energy up in this piece. Welcome, everybody. You are watching Productive People here on PV versus Everybody every Wednesday, 7 p.m. here on YouTube, on Facebook, streaming on all platforms. What's up? We got a lot to talk about, everybody. I'm hyped, as you can see. I'm hyped every week, but I'm hyped even more, especially hyped today, because we got a lot in store today, and we got some new things in store. We got some new things in store on the show today and on the platform as we're evolving. You see, I got my stuff together. I had the intro because everybody got on me last week. They were like, yo, Sed, what's up, man? I can't live without the intro clip. I come to the intro early. I come ready to go, and you didn't have the clip ready. So last week, I didn't have the clip. So this week, I had it fixed. I got the sound issues together. Knock on wood, cross my fingers. So we're going to get it together today. We got a lot in store for you guys. Thank y'all for logging in. Thank you for the PV12. Thank you for 107, Section 107. Thank you for the PV alumni base, all the fans, all the supporters. I want to thank everybody. All the PV faithful that's out there, because, you know, without y'all, we can make this happen. We're going to get right into the show, y'all. We got some announcements, obviously, that we got to get out the way first. First, I want to get out the announcements out the way. I'm getting all my little setup together. I'm getting fancy this week, y'all. We got scholarship deadline is extended. If you got student kids, nieces, nephew, little cousins, god kids, we all got family, or we got kids that maybe want to come and attend Prairie View, well, they extended the scholarship deadline. People always talking about HBCU money. The QR code is right there for you. Guess what, Panthers? We got the deadline extended. For the PV 2026-2027 year general scholarship applications has been extended to May 15th. So y'all don't have no excuses. Don't wait till the last minute. There's still time now to secure your funding. Don't miss the opportunity. Don't want to hear y'all crying, Sed, you got a hookup? What's the hookup over at PV over there trying to get my kid in? Got the scholarship QR code right there for you. Let's go. This other one, excuse the smacking, but this other one is really, I got hyped. That's what happened. I got hyped. I don't know if you guys have been seeing online. I don't know if y'all been seeing in all the PV spaces. It's a gentleman, fellow PV alum, Harrison Guy. He's presenting a Dear Prairie View Performing Arts, the Houston Performing Arts. Now, that sweater is off the chain, first of all. But, you know, we always got to support our own, but this is telling our own story. It's telling our story on a major platform. In honor of the PV 150th anniversary, Harrison Guy is creating and directing Dear Prairie View. And, you know, of course, we know the song, Dear Prairie View. I'm not going to sing the whole song. It is my love letter that actually Harrison Homer Guy is saying that this actual direction, or this performing arts piece that he has, is going to be for our enjoyment and for Houston enjoyment. It shaped him, it's challenged him, and it's giving him the purpose to show you who he is. This is one of us, y'all. For everybody who walked the campus, for everybody who experienced the power of PV, we're taking our story to the main stage. And we're bringing everyone along with us. This is also a Texas story. This is also an HBCU story. This is also a Black story. And it's a Houston story, obviously. But this is everybody who loves HBCUs. I think I had a link up there. We're gonna support this brother. It's gonna be a amazing time. Let me see if I got the link up there. Hold on. Let's see. Oh man, I'm just so happy. I finally got the links together for the first time. Let's see, which one is it? I don't need to show the link for that, but I want y'all to go out and support this brother. What else we got? We're going to get right into it, because I see we got something cracking over there. One last announcement. PV football. You know, we all get hyped for football, but they have a football performance internship, y'all. It's a volunteer position, but they're looking for a separate person to work with the sports training team, get in the room, gain experience, develop Division I football. There's a lot of people want to work with Division I football programs. We got a lot of people that work in training and fitness. There's your opportunity to work with PV football, hands-on, travel with the team, and actually get experience. If that's you, if you want to volunteer, there's no housing provided, there's no paid invite, but the actual experience is payment in it enough. So local and candidates are encouraged to apply. The deadline is April 26th. So to apply, you can reach out to Coach Tommy Moore at tomoore@pvamu.edu. Strength and coaching and strength coaching program, internship program, y'all. Now check it out. All right, we're going to get right into the show. One more announcement. One more. Junior Day. That's also something we got to look forward to. That's going to be actually on April 17th. It's almost here. Spring football. Everybody's getting excited. The purple and gold game. It's an opportunity to compete, learn, and connect. At the Baby Dome, there will be a special panel guest hosted by NFL wide receiver Cecil Shorts III. Registration is from 11:30 to 12:30. For more information, there's the QR code. Check it out, screenshot it, or you can check it on this YouTube link. But Junior Day, I told y'all, I've been telling y'all about this. The flyer is finally ready, but I've been telling y'all about spring week of the actual spring game. It's no longer just going to be a one-game experience. They have Junior Day involved, and they got some other festivities that's going to be involved. But check out Cecil Shorts. It's going to be a good platform and a good opportunity to talk to an NFL player and bring your kids out. They might not necessarily be a recruit, but you never know the impact that this might have on your youth, especially if they want to attend college. All right. Got the information out the way. Now we are ready. I'm excited. We are ready for one of probably my most exciting moments because I'm passionate about this sport. And this sport that I'm particularly talking about is not football. Are you surprised? It's PV softball. PV softball has been a sleeping giant at PV. For the PV faithful, we've always known this. But I think outside of the PV and the SWAC sphere and the HBCU sphere, I don't think PV softball gets the respect that it should get. And I have a special guest for you today, but we got a special intro I want to bring. I want to bring a special intro in first. So y'all check this out, and then after that, we're going to introduce our guest.
In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Everybody get a turn.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorites right there. That's my favorite chant, by the way. Go get her ball. Go get my ball. Go get her ball. I know I'm probably messing up the words, but I just know it from seeing it on the clips all the time. I can't wait to go to a game so I can actually sing that out loud. It's probably one of the most magnanimous moments actually in PV softball. So without further ado, I would introduce my fellow class of 98, assistant softball coach for 13 seasons, coached 3 SWAC championships in 5 seasons, and received multiple Western Division titles. No more than yours, your PV alumnus, Coach Lane, better known as Coach Rollo. What's up, Coach? Oh no, it hit remove. Come on, Coach, get back in. Come on back in the show. We hit remove from the. There we go. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
What up? What up? What up? Well, hold on. We got to do this in right fashion.
You know. Let's do it.
Yo, what's up, Coach Lane? What's up?
What's up? What's up, my brother?
What's up? What's up? What's up? You know, I'm excited because this is my first time getting a coach on the show. We got a lot of people get coaches on shows, but that's not my show. We have a segment within the family of PV versus everybody that bring coaches on, but this is more like a kindred. This is more like, you know, friends. This is more like alumni. You know, my show is a fan-based show, and we get excited about all things PV from a fan perspective. And I would be remiss. I said, man, we gotta get Rollo. I know I introduced you as Coach, you know, Lane, but I think everybody on PV family knows you as Coach Rollo. People know you as Rollo. Tell us about that origin story, because I'm gonna be referring to you as Rollo in this interview. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's crazy how that name came about, and let me see. Now I'm not gonna say the whole story because my wife may be listening. But so I got the nickname my freshman year. Just a group of friends that were just kind of walking around and cracking jokes about each other, and I just so happened to be laughing a little bit too hard, and so one of the guys said, "You always laughing, man. That's why you look like Rollo off of Sanford and Son." And so everybody just took that name, and it just kind of just stuck since 1991, and so it became my name. Actually, you know, I had college professors that didn't know my real name because they were calling me Rollo. And so, like I said, you know, it just goes back to let you know how long people been knowing me and how long the name has been around. And so I try to wear that badge with pride, and that's how everybody recognizes me.
Nah, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. I think PV football, PV softball is an amazing sport, and you've been doing your thing. As I said in the intro, 13 seasons over there. You know, like tell us a little bit about the background. We was on the yard for a while before we get into sports, because I think it's important to know that, you know, when we have coaches and we have legacy is one thing, but then when we actually have PV alum that are coaches, I think that's just like an extra special cherry. You know, I understand that Coach Vern is a 91, I believe, and you're a class of 98. The fact that the head coach and assistant coach are both PV alum, and we have great levels of success, that's just so amazing. So tell us about your like PV experience, and, you know, some of the things that, you know, you feel special about like being a coach and being alumnus from PV.
So it's actually crazy how I ended up at Prairie View. I committed to a PWI playing baseball out of high school, and I was not supposed to come to Prairie View, but injury at the school kind of led me here. And so I came here and could not play baseball anymore, but still had the baseball background, just kind of playing around the city and high school ball in the city and so on and so forth. So I think my last year here is maybe the first or second year that PV softball was in existence. And I had a little cousin on that team in '98. And so I was training her and some other players on that team as a student. They went on to win the first SWAC championship for the program. And so years later in 2010, one of the players that was on that '98 team was the head coach at the time. And so they asked me to come in to train the outfielders here. And so I did that just to volunteer my services and also to continue to give back to the program. So I came in as a volunteer in 2010, and 2011, I think they asked me to be an assistant coach. And so I started as an assistant coach at that time in 2011, and here I am now. And so just to be able to be a part, play a small part in the '98 championship as far as developing those players, as well as the remaining championships that we were able to win as a part of the softball program, has just been huge for me. And so that's my journey, that's my path, and we continue to make history each game we play.
Nah, that's amazing, man. We know that, you and Coach Vern are like a two-headed monster there. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm always interested. I'm a little biased. I think you are the secret sauce. Behind the gumbo, you're the roux in there. But
Yeah.
I love for you to tell it yourself. What's your distinct difference in what when it comes to coaching? Like, what you bring to the table as far as assistant coach, because you're part of that legacy that exists within PV softball.
Yeah. Coaching the game is, X's and O's, and you gain a lot of experience through whether as a player and then also just being around the game for so long. But I think my greatest attribute is the player development. Most of the players on our team use me as their hitting coach, as their fielding coach. I'm an analyst by profession, and so messing with data and understanding how to manipulate data and how to use analytics in the game, I think has been my greatest attribute to the program. There's not a player in the SWAC that I can't give you detail on, and any team, east or west side. And so being able to understand what data and what numbers look like and how to scout and just put game plans in place for us to better line up against people is I think the piece that Coach Bland trusts me with the most because of that simple fact. And so Bland is a win and loss type of coach, and that's what drives him as a head coach. Should drive every head coach because that's how they're measured. I'm a process guy. And so I want to know, and I study every win, every loss that we have, every competitor that we play against. I literally study and study and study. And so I'm able to manipulate our practice schedules, our practice plans, and our approaches for when we play these guys. And I think that's been what separates us as a program because, he's able to do his side and perfect his side, and I'm able to perfect my side and we trust each other to do so. So there's never any bumping of the heads or whatever. He understands how detail oriented that I am and how much I like mechanics and the way that we move and the way that we, field and how we throw and how we hit. That he just care about us executing. But I feel like that's a part that contributes to the success of our execution is how we actually do things. And so, if I had to brag on myself, I think that that's the piece that I bring to this program, and I think it's unmatched in our conference, honestly, and beyond. So, in a lot of essence, just the amount of time that I put in studying and trying to perfect the piece that I can contribute to our success.
Now, that's what I was going to ask you. So, I know that analytics are used at a high level when it comes to baseball, and I know analytics are used at other programs. So, are you telling me that that is one of the key components to like women's softball that you actually are using analytics on a deep dive basis to make sure the team is prepared on a
In
game by
my
game basis?
in my opinion, honestly, we played Texas A&M many years ago, and in between us, going into hit or whatever, right in our pregame regiment, Texas A&M left a scouting report on Prairie View A&M University
Oh,
in the locker room. And at the time, they were the number 5 team in the nation. And I think we were on a slight winning streak, but we had not won. Bland and I had not won our first SWAC championship together at the time, but we were kind of trending upward. And so when I looked at the scouting report that Texas A&M, the number 5 team in the nation, had on Prairie View, then to me, if we're aspiring to get to that level, why are we not thinking
doing
like
the
that?
same
Why
thing.
are we not acting like that? And so they had data like down to our fastest player. They had data down to our best pitcher's favorite pitch. They literally had everything that you could imagine about us. And so I just kind of took that mindset on, and I said, if I want to beat Texas A&M, I have to start thinking like them. I have to start acting like it's not about
That's what's
us
up.
wearing both programs wearing Adidas. We can dress like them and look like them all we want, but until we
Right.
start speaking like them and talking like them, we won't actually grow as a program. And so, when I look at the SWAC, and no knock on any team in the SWAC, we are very successful in SWAC play, and that's great, but we are trying to be bigger and better than that. And so we challenge the kids to dream with their eyes open. And so if we want to try to compete with the mid majors in Texas and beyond, and also make it past SWAC and to be able to compete at the regional level, we have to start acting like it. And so that means we are doing things a whole lot different, in my opinion, than a lot of other schools in our conference. So I think we're starting to build the mindset in our athletes. We just have to, follow that up with whether it's technology, that can help us gauge more metrics and things of that nature when it comes to how our balls are spinning, or how the
Mm-hmm.
exit velos and things of that nature. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
separates us from your high level mid majors and your Power Five programs, is because they have that technology. So we're getting there slowly, but it has allowed us to kind of separate ourselves in a SWAC, because we're looking and aiming towards that, right? Um, if you think back to, just to give you an example of what they mean, if you think back to the Rocky movie when he fought against the Russian, right?
Okay.
And so Rocky had to train in Russia, and he trained in an old barn and warehouse, and he was using old tires and things of that nature. And the Russian
Mm-hmm.
had actual data and machines that was hooked up to him and stuff like that. And so that's kind of where things are. Most
That's
of
a
us
good
are
point.
in a warehouse, trying to get the same result as these programs that have all the technology that could help them faster. So
That's so interesting that you said that as we compete in that actual space. And I'm gonna pivot a little bit. I'm gonna get back to that because I got some more questions. But I'm gonna break it and let's have a little fun real quick, right?
let's
Because
do
as
it.
you start talking about us competing against high level FCS schools, I think there's a lot of misconception that's out there. I think a lot of fan base aren't aware of the competition that we're playing. But from what I've been seeing on social media, and again, this show has been a response to really all of the misinformation that's been out there, a lot of
Yeah.
the negative talking points when it comes to PV. And that's really been the impetus of why this show was created. So I'd be remiss not to actually address some of those things while I actually have a coach here, because people, they don't want to take my word for it. You guys are just fans. But we have an opportunity for an actual coach to speak to some of these things. Maybe we can kind of dispel some of these rumors. So one of those things is about, do we actually play competitive schools? Because now teams are getting annoyed that PV is ranked higher. And they're
Hmm.
saying, oh, PV is only ranked higher because we don't play anybody. So I want to pull up a clip real quick, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Let's see if is it there? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we got a clip right there. So here's a post. Here's a post right here from Jens Pete. Same song every year. PV plays a weak SWAC West schedule and is ranked over better teams. Now, I think that's funny, right? And then I think
Okay.
we have a Victor Games over here responding as well. And that's okay. They won't make it to the championship without quality wins. Like we're in the fan base is in there responding to it. We see PV12 is down here telling them we have real out of conference wins. The conference wins will stack up. Just be ready for the tournament, right? But
Yeah.
what's your thoughts when you start seeing things? And this is just one of many, right? This is a lot of the noise that we're seeing out here in the actual PV space. So what's your response to things like this, or what information would you provide when you see stuff like this to weaponize the PV fan base to kind of fight back against some of these talking points?
Okay. The first thing I'll say is number one, PV softball does not dictate the schools that are on the east side of the conference versus the west side of the conference. So we play who are on our side ultimately. Now, one of the reasons why you may say PV is more successful on the west is maybe because we are, in my opinion, a tad bit ahead of the way the western schools are doing it. However, the same could ultimately be said about the teams that are on the east. There are some powerhouse teams on the east. There are some teams that are not so successful on the east. Same thing with the west. The one thing that differs about Prairie View softball is number one, Prairie View softball does not play any NAIA schools. We do not play any D2 schools. We will not schedule them. We don't scrimmage against them or what have you. That's just not something that we do. Our record is 100% against D1 competition. Now, this season alone, we played U of H out of the Big 12. We beat them. We played ULL out of the Sun
Hold
Belt
on. Now, I
Conference.
want to stop there 1 second because I said that yesterday on the coaching show with Mr. Campbell and Rocky, and they were saying I was capped for saying that we play U of A. So can you repeat that before you go down the list? What was that you just said?
We played U of H out of the Big 12 this season, and we beat them. Okay, we played ULL out of the Sun Belt, and we beat them. We played Houston Christian out of Southland, and we beat them. We played Sam Houston State out of the Southland, and we beat them. We played Manhattan out of the Metro Atlantic Conference, and we beat them. We played Austin P out of the Atlantic Sun Conference, and we beat them. We played St. Bonaventure out of the Atlantic 10 Conference, and we beat them. The only team, the biggest team that we played against this season, and I don't think there's many HBCU, not that I know of. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think there's many teams. I don't think there's any team in our conference that played against the reigning national champion, University of Texas, out of the SEC. So people can say as much as they want. Data is data, and it's available, right? And so you simply have to go and check the record. Now, again, we are successful in the conference, and I think it's because we are elevating ourselves above some of the institutions that may just be stuck in just being conference based and success in the conference. Our last 3 years, our conference records in the last 3 years have been 23-1, 22-2, and 21-3 in the regular season. We hold the top three overall records in the history of SWAC softball.
Wow. Oh man. Did his camera go out for y'all? Oh, man, we were just cooking. We're gonna bring him back. We're gonna bring him back. Man, that was cooking. And I'm gonna see if he'll come back. I'm gonna remove him and then add him back. If you can hear me, Coach, I'm gonna remove you from the studio. Man, I gotta get a list of those. I gotta get a list of those, and because he was naming some games I didn't even realize that we actually won. I ain't even really getting to the meat of that. Man, shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. I wanted to say that we was in the thick of the interview. Shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. The 2 donations. You know, he's back. Thank you, Hoop Jargon, for the donations. All right.
Yeah, sorry about that. Not sure what happened.
Back. Okay. It looked like they turned the lights off over there on you.
Yeah, they did. It's motion censored, so
Okay.
it's still in the building, and they're expecting everyone to be home at this time. But here we are.
Nah. I'm not gonna hold you long, but can you finish up on the point when you were talking about there are no other teams that's played the schools at the level that PV has played? Because I don't think you can say that loud enough for a lot of the naysayers that's out there. But go ahead.
So I definitely give some of the schools props for actually competing against those high level Power 5 schools. The comment that I made was that I don't believe any have played the reigning national champion, which is UT.
Okay.
So I do know that Alabama State, I believe, played against Oklahoma or what have you. And I think Florida A&M may have played against some top level schools. Bethune-Cookman normally plays against top level schools as well. And so definitely not trying to diminish anyone's schedule, but I'm speaking in reference to our ability to compete and make it, you know, not a huge thrashing against a school of that level with those type of resources, right? It was a respectful game. It's not, we don't like the participation trophies or anything like that, so we're not
Correct.
necessarily bragging or satisfied with that. But to be able to compete at that level against that program statistically, right? When the level of resources is different, is some of the things that drives us and also separates us because we're not afraid of that. And so we'll play
Hmm.
anybody that step on the dirt with us, and and we go into those games believing that we can win. These are not, we do not play money games in softball, right? So you're
Okay.
not getting a $10,000 check, $20,000 check to come play these schools. We play for to steal knowledge. Honestly, we
Oh,
play to
okay.
compete. We play to compete, but we also play to look and see what are they doing, what has them that successful. What are their strategies? How are they running the bases? What balls are they hitting? What bats are they using? Things of those natures that we can try to pick from every opportunity we get to play against those programs and bring them back to our program and see if we're able to obtain that same type of success. Now, if you look at our records and the success that we've had in regular season, compare those to our schedule, either that particular season or the season before. And what I mean by
Okay.
that is we've played against LSU, we've played against Texas A&M, we've played against at the time the back-to-back reigning national champion Oklahoma Sooners. We played
Okay.
against UT, and so these are schools that are normally in your final rounds of the College World Series, and so we're playing these universities, but we're also picking up some things from these universities. And so
That's good.
if we bring back some of the lessons that we learned and we apply it to the mid majors that we're playing or the SWAC school that we're playing, if we do it right, we should have a different level of success. And that's exactly what happens.
Ah, that's amazing. And I'm all over the place with my questions, but they're flowing succinctly. When you start talking about prepared and readiness, I'm just gonna hop into it. We've been having some really great seasons, and shout out to you. And oh man, that's beautiful. That whatever that light come, let there
Yeah,
be light,
yeah, yeah.
man. When it comes to like prepared and readiness, like what are some of the factors that play into the team going into tournament play? Because we've been seeing some great records at the end of the season, and then I know the reasons, but I want you to share like what is one of the major reasons that we've been seeing this shift when it comes to tournament play that's really affecting the PV team as we win so many games and then we go into the tournament and it seems to be somewhat of a struggle.
Yeah. So it's really a tough question, right? And I think that the last 2 years, unfortunately, we were not successful in the SWAC tournament. The prior 2 years, we won both. We went back to back in 22 and 23. And the last 2 years, we kind of, fizzled. We would had definitely, had the best, some of the best records, some of the best statistical data or what have you. I think that, in my opinion, without being I don't want to take anything away from Jackson State. I think they did a great job those last 2 years. However, I don't think anybody in the tournament beat us. I think we beat ourselves, and I think we beat ourselves because of our approach and also some of the things that we were doing during the season. I'll give you an example. In one of those years, we led the conference in home runs by a lot, and so when we went to the tournament that particular year, it happened to be played on a bigger field. The wind
Ah,
happened to be blowing a whole lot harder. Teams were playing us way back at the gate, and we were just hitting balls that would have normally been home runs on other fields, but they didn't go out on this field. And so we didn't do a good job, in my opinion, of adjusting our swings to fit where we were supposed to play. And so that was an um, adjustment that we did not make. We did not execute. We did not, get the timely big hits that we needed. I think in the 4 games that we lost the last 2 years in SWAC tournament, I think we left something like 46 runners on base, right? And so you're not going to beat
Interesting.
anybody with that. And so, however, we use that as motivation and an opportunity to understand how quickly we need to be able to adjust our swings. When should we be swinging for the fence versus a base hit or playing small ball? Now, if you look at our record in the conference, I think we're averaging almost 8 runs a game against SWAC competitors, and we're not hitting as many home runs as we did those couple of years. So it's just a difference in philosophy on how we're going about executing and what we need to do in order to be successful to continue to drive in runs. I think the games that we did lose that we were eliminated were games that we lost by 1 run, 2 runs, or something like that. Like it was not like we were run ruled and they put us on the bus and sent us home. It was close games. We just did not execute in those big moments, and that's more on us. I dare not take away from any other school, but I know that we don't focus on any other schools. We focus on ourselves, and so we just did not do what we were supposed to do at those moments. But I can guarantee you this: that our approach this year uh, thus far has been successful with the kids understanding what we need to do in those type of situations um, in order to help us be more successful. We did not play fall ball. We may be the only school, one of the only schools in the conference that did not play fall ball. So all of our learning and our learning curve and building our lineups and our game plans and all that type of stuff was played during the season. This season, played
Okay.
out during the season, this season. So we're growing as a program. We still haven't reached our full potential this season where I think we should be, but we are 11-1 right now. And so the
That's
kids
amazing.
understand what we need to do in order to be successful. And we're building and competing in a manner that I feel like will have us a tad bit more successful when we go into the tournament this season.
To that point, I wanted to, you went somewhere totally different than I was expecting you to go. So a
Hmm.
little birdie told me that there's an impact on the tournament by the way that they actually announce awards, individual awards by actual players. And
Uh,
so, speak. Can you speak to the fact that that is a potential, a hindrance when it comes to going into tournament play, and you have individual awards on a team, and that actually creates a different shift in a locker room versus, a team that doesn't have anything to, to win or to lose for, and they actually don't have that type of dissension per se in the actual locker room. So I thought you was going to actually say that is one of the things. So what's your thoughts on that? Or is that a real myth, or is that actually a real
uh,
thing?
in my personal opinion, I think so. This is just my personal opinion, and I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody. I think so myself. A lot of times, what people have to realize, or players on any team have to realize, that with a team success comes individual trophies, right? And so what happens is you create this opportunity where everybody is celebrated the day before the game. The all SWAC, all tourney, all coach of the year, what have you. All that information comes out the day before we start playing, and I think that psychologically, I do think that it affects organizations as well as individuals in the organizations, because you have a kid that just played her heart out or whatever. She did this and she had this data and that data, and she gets in the game, and then she finds out this other kid won the award that she felt like she should win. So now she's down, or maybe she's going to try harder to prove everybody wrong. So it just may affect the way that she performs. Also, same thing with coaches. You get there and you win a Coach of the Year trophy or whatever, and another team feel like that they should have won it, or they didn't have as many all conference selections or whatever, so it fuels their fire. So I think that I mean, I definitely feel like that the teams and coaches should be celebrated or what have you. I just prefer for our team and any other team to not lose focus. And so, what we have been building this season with our team, and I'm not going to say that has affected us. I just personally don't like it. Like, I'm not a fan of it. However, what we have done this year's program is just basically just tell our team that it's not about having a superstar, and we're actually not designed to have kids that are all conference. If you do get it, you get it. But we try to be balanced, and so a lot of times we're not playing our kids as much as we should, or we don't play them against this particular team to pad their stats and things of that nature. We just want to win, and we try to do that with whoever we put on the field at the time. And so this season we've been focused on just being us, and just only worried about the end goal, winning our conference is an award that can sit on your mantle or whatever, but winning that championship is an award that you can wear with you everywhere you go. And so we're really just kind of driven by not necessarily focusing on the individual achievements, but just trying to find something that's going to be successful for the entire
Build a
team.
team up. No, that's amazing. I'm gonna go back to another clip. Again, I always want to keep the show focused around the misinformation and noise that exists out there. So this is my second one. This is the second and last one. And this just happened to come yesterday. I was on the coach's corner with Mr. Campbell and Rocky. And PV softball came up. I was doing a shameless plug for the show. And it was some interesting comments that were made. And, again, I love to get your feedback and take on some of these things. Oftentimes our coaches go on other shows and people try to use our coaches to weaponize against the fan base. So me having the opportunity to have a coach on the show, I love having the opportunity to have the actual coaches speak on some of these clickbaits and conversations that are out there. So I'm going to play this clip and let me know what your thoughts are on this.
Softball, y'all don't want none of that smoke. So I
softball? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Do you know who runs softball in the SWAC? That's FAMU and Jackson State.
No, Prairie View. You have not. You have not been keeping.
Bro, y'all ain't listen until you win it.
What are you talking about?
Wait, Rocky. Hold on, Rocky. Before we let this young guy go, let me just show him something real quick, because he's talking about what they're doing right now. I'm talking about playing in the finals, winning the thing. That's why the baseball had to come down there. I want to show Sed something.
You sound like a lot like Jackson State did about 4 months ago, Mr. Campbell.
I'm going listen. I'm from Jackson, and we definitely gonna sound like it, because see all this Prairie View talk. This is just blasphemy, man. They talk about they setting standards now and how good the campers look and how good the girl look. Man, I'm with the FAMU. I'm from Jackson. They sets. Come on, ain't nothing against those black. What is it? The Black Foxes? What y'all got?
Black Foxes. That's right.
Yeah, I ain't gonna. but just to show you something real quick, let me just share my screen. People laugh about me sharing my screen, but just before you get up out of here, just to want you to remember a few things real quick. Hold on, let me share this real quick. This is the softball standards real quick. You see that in the East?
That's too small, Mr. Campbell.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. You see this in the East? You see that name?
Oh man.
You see who that is?
Look what you see in the West.
No, wait a minute. You see who right behind them? And there go y'all in the. So don't act like you running softball.
Look at the conference.
Look, I told you, the boogeyman's are in. Right, what you call us? The boogeyman.
Well, I'll say it.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get your take on that. I was trying to get in there, and when I go on some of these shows, I don't know where the delusion of some of these guys come from. What's your thoughts on what you just heard? If he was in my position.
So first of all, what I don't do, man, is I don't get into those type of debates, man, because they are opinion based. What I can say is what's facts is that Jackson State has won the last two SWAC championships. That's fact. The two championships before that belong to Prairie View. That's facts, right? I do believe that Jackson is a growing program, not growing program. I think they're an established program. I think FAMU is doing a great job as well. Honestly, I don't care about that, right? FAMU, we have played FAM since they have been in the SWAC, but we have not lost to FAM since they've been in the SWAC. I think the last championship we won, I think we eliminated Jackson State, right, on our way to that championship. I dare not get into the competition because I like both of those head coaches. I think both of them are doing great jobs with their programs. Fortunately for us, man, the games are played on the dirt and not behind the keyboards. And so what we do, man, is we only focus on Prairie View, right? And we'll let them have, they're sore right now. You know what I'm
Don't
saying? And
don't
so
worry,
because
coach. We're gonna get in the fight. You're gonna
oh,
be the politician. Don't
oh,
worry.
yeah,
We gonna turn
yeah,
up. I'll
yeah.
turn up
So
for you.
they can have that, man. Our girls are so driven, man. If you go and you find any one of our players walking around this campus right now, and you ask them, who's your biggest rival and who are you looking forward to playing against and blah blah blah. Who's your biggest game? They're not going to name any SWAC school. They're not going to name any SWAC school. They're going to say us, and so our biggest challenge, man, is competing against ourselves. And what we've learned, man, is that we don't want to be the best. Like, we're not aiming to be the best. We don't talk about being the best. We want to be better, right? Because anytime you strive, in my opinion, you strive to be the best, you put a measurable on somebody or some program to where they compare it to you. As long as we're trying to be better, we keep growing, right? We're never satisfied. We're insatiable with the way that we do things or what have you. And so that's what we're doing as a program, man. We're just trying to be better every day, every inning, every practice, every scrimmage, every game, every walkthrough, every scout meeting, what have you, man. We're focused on those things that can help us be better. Now, if anybody under my listening ear believes that Prairie View softball doesn't feel the effect of not winning the last two championships, you're crazy, right?
Mm.
That is our standard. We don't talk about, oh, we was this close or we was that. We don't talk about that, right? We talk about winning the championship, and so those two losses, those last 2 years, they sting. And that's one of the first things Bland and I say when we get out of the field, man, this is going to hunt us for the next year, right? And so we got to figure out what we got to do to get us back to the championship. We've never been in a championship game and lost. So our success rate once we get to that level is at 1,000, And so we just focus on one game at a time right now and continue to grow. Anytime we play, we leave tomorrow to play Grambling, and
Okay.
what we're going to tell each other is that they're in our way. They're in our way, and so we just keep on. We just staying focused, and I don't listen to a whole lot of the chat groups and all that. I don't listen to none of that. I don't need motivation, man. Nobody out there, or the amount of noise that they can talk motivates me more than I motivate myself. And so I got a lot of partners. I got a lot of frat brothers and friends and classmates. Man, I'm doing this for them. And so that's our motivation, our PV Nation, the other coaches in this building. We're doing this for them. We're not worried about nobody else. We understand what's in front of us, and that's what we locked in and focus on.
No, that's amazing, coach. I'm not gonna take up a lot of your time. I think we're gonna end that on a positive note. So, given you made a statement about the players, and if I were to run into the players on campus and ask them, who would they be competing against, or who would they most want to compete against? What can you tell us about some of the standout players? I know that's always coaches hate doing that because that makes them actually try to highlight specific players. But I think a lot of the fan base isn't as aware of who the star players is, based on what we see on social media and online. So do you have any players that you can mention that are standout players that the fan base should know about?
Yeah, so definitely let me say this, said we are trying to build a program, man, to where we not really focus on the superstar players or whatever. We're asking every kid to play their role, whatever their role may be for that day. It may be great. I mean, maybe big, maybe small, maybe hitting, maybe fielding, maybe base run, what have you. But everybody's focused on playing their role to their best of their ability. However, we do have some kids, man, that are actually having pretty good successful years, and if I had to name drop a few, I like I'll talk about Mia Nunez, who's our senior outfielder. Mia is a SWAC champion. She was a part of the 2023 championship team. So she's doing what she's doing as the senior on the team, leading the team. She's the heart and soul of our offensive lineup at this point, and she takes that and she puts that on the shoulder. I actually think she's leading our team in home runs right now. We do have
Interesting.
Yanni McKinley, our third baseman. She's a second year player here for her. She's playing solid defense for us at third base. She's having a good year after making some changes to her swing and her approach offensively. I think she leads our team in runs scored, or maybe, second or third up there, leading the team as far as runs scored. We have a freshman, Morgan Smith, in her first year here, is tearing the conference up. She's swinging a very big bat. As a kid, that she has a good number of doubles, a couple of triples under her belt. Right now, I think she's hitting well over 400 as a freshman. This season, she's doing good. Kiki Tinsley, our shortstop, she's continuing to be a spark plug in our lineup. Whether she's at the top or the bottom of the lineup, I think she may be leading our team in stolen bases again. I think we actually led the nation last year in stolen base attempts, and I think we were third in actual successful stolen base, second or third. And so we're back pushing to try to get on that national spotlight as far as the way that we're aggressive on the bases. And Kiki is one of the best at doing it on our team. We did bring in two transfer pitchers, one from both from SWAC schools that are doing a great job for us. We have Yasmin Stewart, who I think may be 6-0 in SWAC, and I think Kayla Adams is maybe 5-1. Between those two pitchers, I think they may control our 11-1 record right now. And so they are the horses, the co-horses, if you want to call it, of our battery on our program. And they're doing very successful after coming into our program from some programs that were not as successful against us, but they came
Okay.
in and made themselves at home. And so we're riding them on, and they're doing a great job. And we got Bella Rodriguez. We have a lot of kids, Cadence Martin, a lot of kids that are coming up and stepping up and just doing big things for us at the right time when their name is called. And so I think that adds some depth to us because we can kind of play kids anywhere, any situation. Bland can call them off the bench, and they're coming in and being able to get hits and things of that nature, or being defensive substitutes. So without, just trying to spotlight certain kids, man, I think just as a program, we're growing every time we get a chance to play, and I think it's going to help us be successful in the end.
No, that's amazing, Coach. Well, this is going to be my last question. Given all of the information that you gave us, and I want to thank you because you gave us a lot of good information from the fan base, and it was definitely effective in doing the job of what I wanted it to do. As a fan, we're in the chats and we're watching on our different media streams. As a fan, what can we do to support PV softball? If you had your druthers, what's something that, I guess it's a two-part question. What is the biggest need for PV softball? A, and B, as a fan base, how can we support elevating PV softball program?
Okay, honestly, in my opinion, if we had access to open wallets financially, I think if we're going for that on our wish list, I definitely think that a locker room for the girls would be, not only our girls, just for recruiting purposes, would be huge for our program. I think it may be in the works at some point, but I think that's always a big need, and it's always something that's asked just about every time we have a recruit on campus. Where's your locker room, or where do the girls hang out in, and things of that nature. And we're starting to see other schools in the program that are not as successful as us to get those type of benefits. So I could only assume that it's going to help them in their marketing of their program. I think that we are a couple pieces of technology away from being able to really manipulate data and fine tune mechanics as far as our athletes' development. There are some technology pieces that could help or whatever if we're talking about from a financial support standpoint. Now, from a non-financial support standpoint, and I dare not say that it's not as important because it's time related. It's just the physical support. Our girls work hard. We represent the university well in the classrooms and on the field, and I just think that it is a huge help when we have fans in the stands. We do have a lot of support from our parents, and I do believe the class of '98 came out to the Texas Southern Series or what have you. And it's crazy because we lost that first game in 10 innings, and the girls recognized that, hey, we can't have fans promoting that they're coming out here to the games and miss the performance that we put on the field. And so if you go back to what we did that Saturday,
Yeah.
when we played in a doubleheader, it changed. So just being able to have the fan support. Um, we have a lot of, we have different frat brothers that come out and friends and classmates and stuff that come out, but it's just something different about playing in front of your colleagues or playing in front of people that's just showing you genuine support. It's crazy, man. We play Texas A&M, and Texas A&M has a group of individuals that come and they sit behind our dugout, and that their job is to get on our nerves. They're not saying disrespectful stuff or anything like that. They're not. They are some of the best and the nicest hecklers you can have. And so you think about you're trying to coach and you have someone call, "Hey Joseph, what are you doing?" And I know nobody calls me Joseph. So these kids' job is to go in and they find out our names. They find out, Vernon, and they know all the players' names, and they're just talking, talking, talking. But it creates an environment that kind of throws you off, right? And so they're not saying, let's come to the game and be disrespectful, but it's something about just playing in front of a huge fan base that's there cheering on you every hit or cheering on you every, strikeout or whatever we're doing or whatever. It's just something about that environment that makes it easier for us to compete. So, my challenge to our fan base is to support all sports as your schedule permits. And, we understand that we're outside and it's in the sun and this, that, and the other, but we want to have that extra, as Texas A&M have the 12th man. We want to be able to have that extra piece of support there with us in our stands to make it uncomfortable for teams to come here and play. Or you have to hear the screams of our fans and they drown out everybody else and things of that nature. So those are the pieces that I think our fans and our alums can do, is just continue to support these kids. I thank you for having me on and just bringing awareness to the softball program just by this utilizing your platform. And so I thank you for that. And I hope we will continue to grow and we will continue to represent this university on and off the field.
Yeah, I want to bring to your attention too. I put it up on the screen. I want to let you know, there's a little private fan, crazy group called PV12 that, we talk about all things PV and share chats and messages. And, I got the word it was a TSU lady out there at the game, and she said she was going to come and yell and scream. Oh, we lost coach already. Oh, there you go. All right, and she was going to yell and scream. We had the information on what she looked like. We had the information on where she was going to be. And PV12 showed up at, shout out to PV12. They showed up and showed out in the actual stands and drowned her out. And she kept it a good fight trying to, root on TSU. But we're kind of a hit little gem that's not just in football, started off as, PV only has 12 fans. That's what, the rumor was. And we took that and made lemonade out of lemons. And I will tell you, PV12 was at that TSU game rooting the team on, and they were the main driver around getting the marketing out about the actual game.
I mean, I appreciate that. And maybe I'm mistaken. I was actually out of town that weekend, but and I definitely did receive that type of feedback. So I think that's huge, and I really appreciate PV12 and everybody that supports all PV sports and that support the university as a whole. So forgive me if I may have misquoted or maybe in a piece of different fashion.
Misquote. No misquote. I was just informing you. That's all. And listen, Coach, I love you. I appreciate the work that you're doing. You are a PV alumnus. You are a PV coach. You are a PV legacy. You are a PV royalty. You know, if no one has told you, I'm going to tell you. I appreciate the work that you do, and keep doing the good work. You know, I know it's a tireless effort. Being a coach, let alone assistant coaches, don't get as much love as head coaches. So I wanted to tell you, I appreciate you as my fellow PV alum. We're on the yard together, graduated together. So I appreciate you, brother. I know there are big things to come in store for you. And not only do I send love and blessings and light your way, but I send prayers your way too. Thank you, Coach Lane, Coach Rollo. Y'all give it up for Coach Rollo.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. You know what's so funny about that sound clip? I actually got that sound clip from PV softball. I have been hunting for a PV, sound clip for the longest, and taking off from clips here and YouTube here and there. Thanks, Coach Rollo. I got that clip from PV softball. I've got some opinions back from people saying, "Man, what is that? The beginning of it sounds a little weird," but I always felt love for that actual clip, that PV clip. Until I get a cleaner clip, I'm gonna always have that softball PV clip as on my soundboard, letting everybody know PV, we in the building. We in the building. What's up? I got a lot of PV people in the building. The chat is going hot. I'm seeing the analytics spike up. We got a lot of viewers, so shout out to y'all. I had so many more questions. We're going to have to get Coach back on for a part 2. But, he's worked a long day. You see, they turning the lights off on him. I didn't want to hold them too much longer. We're going to get some more. We're going to get some more coaches on, and we're going to get Coach Rollo back on probably early in the day, or even maybe on campus and maybe do something live. But shout out to the PV faithful. So what up, Jaree? Another fellow PV alum when I was on campus. Shout out to you. Shout out to the PV12. Shout out to Section 107. Shout out to PV Alumni Base, Houston chapter, on the rise, national chapter. Roosevelt doing this thing on the national. Yo, I'm just excited. People that know me know I can't stop talking about PV. Can't stop, won't stop, in the words of Diddy. But I'm going to play this PV outro. I'm going to get my little water and get my little stuff together. And we're going to get on with the show. We got a lot to talk about. Y'all. Stay tuned.
Set it up. 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 Let's do my ladies join this motherfucker. You all my ladies join this motherfucker. They say the niggas ain't hero. Ain't worth about. Get stared like. Hold on.
This whole time I was muted. Oh my gosh. I'm just sitting here talking away. Talking away. Hey, just blame that on the old man right there. Oh my goodness. Thank you, G Boom. Thank you, G Boom. He was the only one that was gonna tell me. I'm just sitting here talking and everybody is just fading away. Ain't telling me nothing. No text or nothing. But I'm back. I'm back, y'all. All right, let's get to the guts of this. I want to talk about some stuff. Now that we back. We got the fluff out the way. Thank God I wasn't in the meat of my actual conversation. And then this came up. So let's talk about spring football. Let's just get right into it. We got spring football. Obviously, we had a couple schools out there jump out there with their spring, information. And of course, PV is sitting back, looking pretty, got big things up in the store. Oh, y'all been saying it in the chat. Shout out, because this is the best part. This is one of the better parts outside of Coach Lane on. So I'm glad I got the fluff with the AKAs out the way. We didn't really want to talk about them no way. Now look at God. He had it all worked out that when the mic mess up, it's going to be in the least most important part of the show. But let's talk about spring football, because we've seen a lot out there in these spring football streets. More importantly, I call them, Mumford, the Bad News Bears of Mumford. Today when I put my link out, I call it the Bad News Jags. Man, wasn't looking too pretty. I'm not even gonna gas you up. Wasn't looking too pretty. And look, they already, pulling out the stars, pulling out the ranks, right? They had Marshawn Lee. They had Marshawn Lynch out there. Hold on, let's pull up. Where's he at? I think we had him in the notes somewhere. There we go. There he is. We had Marshawn Lynch checking out Southern, chilling on the corner, got this hoodie on, trying to be incognito. What point of Marshawn Lynch being there and everybody taking photos and posting and taking up Twitter space? I don't know. Maybe he wants to come on and help coach. Maybe he's just vetting and just supporting his friend. Hey, look, it's cool. I'm not even mad at that. Use whatever social capital you got, right? I would be interested to know if we put a mic on Marshawn Lynch to get some of his comments about what he actually saw out there on the field. I'd be interested. What else we have out there? We actually got some footage, right? Let's get into some of the footage, because that's what's most important. After we get past all of the pomp and circumstance, what was going on the field? Here's some highlights. Audio really don't matter. Quarterback scrambling. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Oh my God, no blocking. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Once again, no blocking. He's fumbling the ball. They got to get that together. Again, another bad snap. He got sacked. They had to stop the play. Another bad snap. That's a good defensive play. But after a bad snap, of course you're going to make a good play. A nothing burger. Why was that even in the clips? I don't know. I don't know. I'm unimpressed. I don't know what's going on over there in Southern. that was very unimpressive to me. And not only just me, the coach said it, right? There's a QB battle going on. You know, the coach was talking about the fact that there's a QB battle. Let's see what he had to say when he came to the QB battle.
Waited until I look on the
Let me
film
know if
and
y'all
see,
can hear
because
it. He said it's hard
quarterback
to
get
hear.
blamed for a lot. And then you got to see, the receiver, he was supposed to be outside instead of inside. And the guy.
If you couldn't hear him, he said the receiver's supposed to be outside instead of inside. Like, let me know if y'all could hear that. I'll play it again. But Coach Falk seems a little bit frustrated with the actual status of the team. Now, again, it's a spring, so it's nothing to get too panicky about. But if I got to make an assessment right now, this is the same, 2-win team that we saw last year. Not much improvement. Not much discipline. I don't know what Southern fan base is out there talking about that they're gonna win the West. Is Coach Falk suiting up himself or something? Because I'm missing something here. I'm not seeing something here. I'm gonna play one more. This is from their actual practice. This is really bad. This is really bad. Watch the practice on the next day. I'm gonna reserve my comments. Play this. Look at that tackling. This is supposed to be a tackling drill, y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it. This is supposed to be a tackling drill, a hitting drill where the offensive player is running with the ball and the defensive player is supposed to be coming up. They're 5 yards apart. They're meeting at a 10-yard distance, and they're supposed to come in contact with each other. What's going on here? What? He just went right through him.
Golly.
Tell me that's not their starting defensive back. What was that? Tackling with his arms. Bad tackle. This isn't even editing, y'all. I'm just letting it play through. I'm not even editing this.
There you go. Good tackle.
Decent tackle. That could have been a horse collar. Look at this.
There we go. Finish.
Okay, that was decent, but the running back still did 2 to 3 more yards after point of contact.
Give me Davis. Davis. Which one? Champ? Champ Davis. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go, Champ. Oh, this easy. This easy. Let's get it.
What's going on? Like, what kind of tackling is that?
4-3. Here we go. Why you doing like that? Give me David Prince.
I don't know what's going on over here. So, and I'm a little disappointed. The coach isn't even coaching these guys up. That was a good tackle. I think that's probably been the only good tackle out of what? 20 tackles that we've seen.
Nothing good happened. Give me Darius Jarrett. Give me Darius Jarrett. That's all I can do, dog.
There's not much more, y'all. Not much more. Look at that. The spin. What? That wasn't even no fast spin move. I'm gonna let this last one. I'm gonna let this last one go.
Doubling up. Give me Asbury. Let's go. Let's go double up. Let's go double up. Just like
It just seems like a lot of confusion in the practice too.
There we go. Good tackle.
Now they want to fight. Like, what is going on? What is going on at Southern? I don't. Watching that was frustrating. And this is the team that's supposed to win the West. Man, that was bad. That was kind of I would see Valley and Pine Bluff beating them. The way that team looked, they got a lot of coaching up to do on that team. A lot of coaching up. Now we got some FAMU footage out there too, but not much from them. But I'm gonna put their stuff out there because I would be remiss not to show what they got going on. Hold on. There we go. They just had a real hype reel. I'm gonna stop the music. They playing Cameo. Bad blocking. It's a lot of bad blocking in a lot of these games. They didn't really have much footage. They showed a lot of the fan base and they just showed a lot of the fans. I just wanted to show that real quick. I don't know what's going on. And FAMU, I don't know where Mr. Campbell is at. He actually thinks FAMU is going to be something. I didn't see much from the clips from FAMU looking any much good at well either. So I'm not impressed so far with what's coming out of the spring football games, especially as a fan. I'm not impressed. Especially when you talk about organization and when you start talking about discipline. And you start just talking about raw talent, I'm not seeing a lot of talent out there. I'm just seeing a lot of guys with music playing in the background, undisciplined, coaches yelling and screaming, and a lot of chaos, to be honest with you. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm hoping and praying that we at least have some good competition. Now, we'll play Southern. We won't play FAMU, but I don't know. I'm not really inspired this spring. But, it's a long time to the fall. Now, it wouldn't be a segment or a show if I didn't talk about Jay Stank. The rules of life just would be in order, to be honest with you. Something right about life just wouldn't be right if we didn't mention Jay Stank. Why? Why? Because it's important. It's important to know what a lot of these kind of social media spaces have been talking about. And we've been seeing them, cloud the social media spaces within last week's show and this week, announcing their new night football game. Breaking, Jackson State makes a move that changes everything. Saturday Night Lights is here. Now, I thought it was pretty funny and interesting that they are promoting. You got to do what you got to do when it comes to marketing, right? But I thought it was kind of funny that they were doing some big Saturday Night Lights segment promoting that. I didn't really see much to do about it, but, shout out to marketing. That's part of marketing, right? Saturday Night Lights, 6 p.m. Now, here's the part that was funny to me. Edward Waters, Tuskegee, and Southern. This is a Saturday night bake sale. This is Saturday night cupcake. This is not Saturday night football. I wouldn't even be proud to even promote this. You're playing two D2 schools in a school that had 2 wins last season, and we just saw what they're looking like. They're not even ashamed. We're gonna, you know what's gonna kill them? And the fan base is starting to turn on them, right? The fan base is saying, hold on, I'm paying $55 a game to go see y'all play Edward Waters. I'm going to pay $55 to go see y'all play Tuskegee. The fan base, they're looking at us. The fan base is looking around and seeing action. And I'm like, this ain't really a good action for us. Now, I got my predictions. But when J State fails this year, the fan base is definitely going to turn on the program if they don't fix this conference. They don't fix the actual schedule. I'll be honest with you. I can already hear and feel the grumblings. This is lipstick on a pig right here. Dope graphics, but I'm not hyped to go see Edward Waters and Tuskegee. Now, maybe the Southern game, but I'm not hyped to see Edward Waters and Tuskegee play a night game. And they got, beautiful right up here, right? Saying it's been hot with the heat index and what the average game day, elderly people and elderly supporters and families with kids can't make it to games in the daytime. So now this gives the ability for a larger fan base to come later at night. You know what I mean? The Change Tiger Nation won it. Now that that's over, we have officially moved September home kickoffs to 6 p.m., creating a true Saturday night lights experience. Right? Families can bring their kids. Elderly fans can return comfortably to stand. The full Tiger Nation experience becomes available to everyone again. Beautiful write-up, right? Cooler temperatures, night game energy, more fans able to attend comfortably. Now, quiet as kept. We need some type of marketing like this. Not against no Edward Waters and Tuskegee, though. Not playing a D2 school. So, shout out to Cupcake JSU, out here playing Cupcake D2 games at night and trying to promote that as, some real competition and some real play. I don't know. Hey, look, JSU, they got to do what they got to do. I think it's funny. I think it's interesting. For so much noise that they talk, by the way. The fact that they're putting this type of content out, I say shame on you, JSU. I would want better. Don't you want better? I want better for you. Why wallow in mediocrity? I don't understand it. Help me understand why you want to be mediocre. I would want to be my best. Shout out. What else we got? What else we got in the news? Because we got a lot out there to talk about. That was the one I was looking for earlier. Oh, yeah, we're going to say that one for later. Shout out to Coach DG. Coach DG had his former, I'm going to try to find that for y'all, had one of his former players come talk to the team, which was really good. Let me see if I can find that. There we go. My clips are all over the place. It was a pleasure having one of my former players speaking to the DBs. He balled at Miami, and now he's winning at the Chiefs, right? Shout out to Coach DG. And look at the players. We're having a conversation. I'm not going to give away too much sauce, but this is a little stuff that we see online. So this is not really no sauce because this is what they promoting online, right? Cater Koo. That's how you pronounce his name. Cater Koo. Played for Miami, and now he's with the Chiefs. I just wanted to do a little shout out to PV football. We, how much in the football ranks to talk about. So I thought I'd throw that in there just so y'all can know we're productive over here. I know it's just productive people on a podcast, but we're staying productive as a football source, right? I want to talk about something else too. Let's get back to the clips. I had Coach from the softball talk about the clips, and that was enjoyable for me because I got to have a bird's eye view of somebody, talk about the clips and where it's not just me talking about them. We get to actually have other people give a perspective on what's going on out here. What's this guy talking about right here? The West will be decided in the bayou where it belongs. Now, again, you gotta love a good Southern fan, right? Not knowing that Prairie View was in a bayou as well. Not knowing. And so, of course, PV fan base is right in there responding. But I said this last week, and I say this again. Southern, hear me, Jaguars, y'all got to simmer down. When you're coming off a 2-win season, I don't say that as any diss, But if you can get a 6-win season, you'll be doing good with yourself. Let me be honest with you. That's major improvement. With a first-year coach, not a first-year coach just on your team, but a first-year head football coach, his first year coaching a football team of any sorts. And y'all are gonna win the West. Like, I know that delusion is a drug going around the SWAC. But delusion wasn't one of the things I took a lot of SU fans for. But that guy, Mike Winfield, he just be talking, to be honest with you. I've seen a lot of his posts, but he just be really talking most of the time. Now, on a happy note, because everybody talks about, Said you don't show no love. On a happy note, shout out to Bethune-Cookman over LSU. That was, I went back and watched that game. That was really major. That was major what they did. I think I had that clip in there, right? I don't know if I'm gonna play it all, but it's some good highlights in that. If you get some time, go watch that game. That was really good. Oh, I do have it. Boom. Okay, Said, you good for something. Let's play that. Let that play. And that's LSU in the white, if you didn't know, right?
And the pitch picked on
I
and
don't know if
driven
y'all
into
can hear
right
the
center
sound,
field. That
but
splits the
Bethune-Cookman
outfielder.
is rocking that.
Lucena is on his way to third. He'll make it without a throw. Runner at first is moving. That pitch is driven into center field. 3 consecutive base hits now. And Bethune-Cookman cuts the lead in half and places runners at first and third again. And a liner to right field is a soft one, but it finds the grass. And Bethune-Cookman, on the base hit by Watson, has tied this game. The 1-2 pitch. Runner gets a tremendous jump. Benj fumbles it. He's got time, and now whiffs as he tried to pick it up.
This is when I knew LSU was shook.
That's smashed, and it's by Braun at first base.
This wasn't no
into the right
cupcake.
field corner, and here comes Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune-Cookman was legitimately
by Darrell
hitting
Lee,
good balls.
and these Wildcats have been spraying the baseball all around, and there's nothing cheap about any of these hits.
Yeah, you
That's one of
heard the announcer
deepest
say
and
that, right?
hardest
There's
hit
nothing cheap
singles
about
you'll
any of
ever
those
see.
hits.
Ooh. This ball is cracked out towards center field. Rivera has room, and he's
I'm
got
gonna
it
skip
for
to the
out.
end, but y'all go
Lee
check
winds
this.
up
Y'all
at
check this
third.
link out. It's 6-5 rocking. The whole game,
And
Bethune-Cookman
Martinez
was
quickly
rocking
brings him in
LSU.
with a solid single to left field. Every time LSU has taken the lead, Bethune-Cookman has come right back.
I'm gonna fast forward through this. Look, it's 10-6.
Came with
Bethune-Cookman.
another one.
Strikeout.
Back-to-back changeups, and both were dandies. He's ahead in the count to Brown, 0-2. The pitch got him swinging. Another off-speed pitch, averaging 2 an inning, and he struck out 2 so far. 3-2 pitch. He got
Pitching, man.
Pearson.
Pitching, not just
Ronald
bats.
to the plate. Curiel hits it sharply right at the shortstop.
Pitching,
who was pulled over to
bats,
the middle of the diamond,
and
and this
fielding.
game is over. Almonte gets it to Rodriguez, and Bethune-Cookman, one of the co-leaders in the SWAC, has taken out the...
Shout out to Bethune-Cookman. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman doing their thing. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman. Like, that was amazing. I actually was proud seeing that. Bethune-Cookman don't get a lot of love, but I think it should be way more clips. There should be way more conversations about this. This has been relatively quiet, to be honest with you, amongst the small SWAC spaces and, you know, those annals, people are talking about it. But people aren't really talking about this. And I think people should, right? I got one more thing, y'all, and I'm gonna get out y'all way. Let me put the link back in there. If anybody got some comments on what they want, y'all can come in here. You're right, Mike Dog. Pitching, man, pitching. Y'all welcome to join in. I got one last segment I'm gonna talk about. Again, it's not all about Debbie Downer. It's love. It's love too. It's always love. But we're going to speak truth to power. We're going to speak truth to power. Which one is this? Oh, I missed that one. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Where'd it go? Hold on, I'm there. Hopefully y'all can hear the sound. I think so. Here we go. Shout out to Valley. Again, we were just talking about Bethune-Cookman, who always seems to not get any love. But shout out to Mississippi Valley. They got a new student union. You know, investing in their university. Mississippi Valley, new $25.7 million renovation for the Jacob Aaron Student Center. I ain't a hater. Like, seeing the growth of the SWAC constantly building and growing, that's amazing, because that just makes the entire conference that much better. You want to see everybody continue to make improvements. I tell you what, this looks a lot better than that Grambling facility. I showed that last week. Grambling's locker room. And Grambling looked like they spent about the same as much as this student center on their locker rooms. And I'm trying to figure out who was their vendor, who did that. Who was the vendor? Because that didn't look too good what I saw. that didn't look too good what I saw. Now I'm gonna end this on a beautiful note. Where's that one at? Hold on, what's that? Oh, there we go. Because I always like to end on a good note. I'm gonna play this clip, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit in a little bit of a rant, and then I'm gonna move to the side. Hold on, where's that at? Because I got clips all over the place. Right here. Here we go. Let this play.
It's time for March Madness. We can get into bracketology another day. We're here to talk about the swag, or lack thereof, that's on the sideline. Since James Naismith invented the sport of basketball in 1891, suits have been a part of the uniform. I mean, just look at him here. Look at all-time great UCLA coach John Wooden in the 60s and 70s when he was racking up titles. Fast forward to the 2020s, and you had guys like Jay Wright and Hubert Davis rocking clean suits every game. So when did coaches start to look like bench warmers? Like the rest of us, the coach wardrobe shifted to cozier attire around 2020 once the pandemic hit. And it just sort of stuck after that. But we don't totally hate the techie quarter zips and sweats, or blame coaches for wanting to be more comfortable as they're screaming like lunatics on the sideline every night. It's got nothing on the suits and sweaters that coaches had to rock for decades prior. You can't tell me that this team issue mid is swaggier than Lou Carnesecca's sweater game, or that a Bob Huggins baggy windbreaker is cleaner than what John Chaney was doing back in the Boeheim and Coach K were at the true peak of their powers when they were tossing on a nice two-piece instead of a sorry tracksuit made of moisture-wicking fabric. We are still seeing some coaches embrace tradition. Shout out to Rick Pitino and John Calipari for always caring about the drip. And special shout out to the coaches on the women's side like Dawn Staley and Sydney Carter that are low-key even more stylish than the men. We just want to see the suits take over again in men's college basketball. Kids put the net down for some quarter zips last year. The least the coaches could all do is toss on a tie for the big dance. For Complex News, I'm Mike.
Shout out to Complex News. That was actually a good piece. It's little things like that. I've been paying attention to stuff like that. But shout out to Complex actually doing a piece on that. And that's where I wanted to end today's segment in my rant talking about. Has the sport changed? We know the financial implications of the sport has changed when it comes to NIL. We know that, how you actually recruit players now and actually building programs with rookies, and how you actually see athletes that are in the JUCO level and the transfer portal era. That's affecting the sports. But what say you about how we dress and present as coaches today? And they touched upon that. There used to be a standard of excellence in how coaches presented themselves, because they realized that not only were they the representation of themselves, they were representations of the institution, but they were also doing a job for the next generation and preparing young minds to actually show up professional, and for the viewers that actually watch them. That John Thompson was amazing to me. Also, Coach Chaney as well. Have we lost the importance and the valor of when it comes to coaches now? How they're actually dressed? Can we get back to coaches dressing? I know it's like the Met Gala now when you look at NBA, locker rooms when they do intros. But we much don't talk about the impact that coaches who are supposed to be leaders, how they dress and look in society today. Is that important? I think it's important. I think it's important for the youth. Kids are out here watching. I'm always kind of an advocate for the unintentional leadership that we have. We often don't talk about that. We often don't talk about the tangible impacts. I do sound like an old man sometimes when we talk about the dreads and the braids and the tattoos on the neck and the tattoos on the arm and a lot of the things. I'm old. I get it. So I gotta be a little bit, flexible when it comes to a lot of these things. But also I'm like, man, where's the austerity that used to come with manhood? Where's the austerity and, prominence that used to come with hard bottoms, slacks with a crease in it, and a jacket, right? What happened to just being upstanding and productive people in society? I don't know. Will it come back? Can it come back? Will it ever come back? It remains to be seen. Maybe the next generation will, they say life is circular and life, is 360 and it'll come back. Hopefully it'll come back in my lifetime, and hopefully we'll see not only just greatness in men's character, but greatness on the coaching sideline when it comes to the ways in which coaches dress. Shout out to an era that's gone and past. Maybe it'll come back. But as I always end the show, stay strong, stay true, but most of all, stay productive, because PV produces productive people.
Do you remember when we first met? Well, I don't, but I remember how wet you get. But I won't disrespect you by dwelling on the physical aspect. Don't roll your eyes, cause we better than that shit. I'm talking about long life, being your boy's wife. A couple youngins running in the backyard. And my lord, you're still looking great, honey. And my God, you still can shake what make money. It's so vivid, can you picture it? Yeah, well tell me, do you think this ring fits? Word, your love is like the ultimate herb. You got me foot to the ass and the rest of the curb. It's like nothing to do, only for you I kneel and forget the brick. Love is the house we're building, the picket fence with the swing on the tree, with the words carved in it saying love is we.
There you are, close enough to touch but still too far, because you're not mine yet. Stimulated by the conversation, mere presence. Other women ask what relation, none of the essence. Oh, who's that? She's a C, but you come first, like the A before the B. When you're gone, I wilt like a willow. Lie there and smell the scent you left on my pillow. A strong mind with the body to match. I won't bite if you promise not to scratch. You keep it real, just like the truth. Closer than twins, standing in the phone booth. Inspirational, treasured like a gift. What's success without someone to share it with? I used to be a dog, now a cool cat chasing cheese. And I blame Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise.
People everywhere wants to know her name. Her body is the essence and her claim to fame. She's got game, it ain't the same. She's got plenty. Packing more good times that you might call a penny. Get caught caught up with the thoughts of flying overseas, making all of the cheese, spending time with Aunt Louise. I picture hitting from the back like the snare from the track. I got the knack to be the Mac lips I wanna smack. Can the wax down the spine all of the time. Prophylactic on my tool, let me take you to school. Lesson 1, you don't have to run. And lesson 2, listen to my crew. Passion increases with exchange of saliva. Keep it Fahrenheit and call me Muffdava. That be me, the K to the ING. My mode is excellent and my dream is Eloise.
A soft whisper. She asked me, do I have the guts to kiss her? But as I sit and wonder, is she real? I picture. So what comes after? Put on Anita's rapture. Her feelings I must capture. Her soft lips. I take them quick and put them in my pocket. Cause they're out of this world like Space Lee and his sprockets. Somebody pitch me quick, I think I'm dreaming. Damn, she got me fiending. Her skin is so soft. It reminds me of the smoothest piece of silk. She's so sweet, her breath smells like carnation milk.
So sweet. Carnation milk. Of all things, I'm your lady. Sweet baby.
Hey, what up, boo? Words out, I'm the diva that you speak about.